Each show and series has a storyline. You know, if you think about America's Next Top Model, it starts with the contestants like trying out, and then it's a competition. Then we've got our top 5. Well, this show has a structure as well, but when it comes to breaking down someone's appearance, it gets very personal and very icky very quickly. After documenting the women's tragic history of mistreatment for not living up to society's beauty standards, the remainder of the Swan was spent proving that actually the bullies were right. Half-naked contestants would be put in front of a panel of cosmetic surgeons, beauty experts, and other professional sociopaths as they discussed how to reconstruct their entire bodies like they were figuring out how to renovate a crack den. It is giving like a Black Mirror kind of like vibe. Like there's something definitely off and very inhumane about this. Let's go ahead and react to a clip of it together.
Cindy represents the ideal plastic surgical patient. She realizes that her nose is droopy and she also has a pointy chin. In her own words, she looked like a witch. Wouldn't you agree, Terry?
That's an incredibly difficult nose to do. I mean, that nose could go horribly wrong if you make a few false moves on it.
She doesn't have the greatest of genetics, and I'm wondering what we're going to do with her stomach. I can put her on all the sit-ups in the world. That's a tough one to tackle.
That's not going to help loose skin with bad stretch marks. She just needs some breast enhancement as well as a small abdominoplasty.
Not the she needs. Girl, she doesn't need anything, but you guys are gonna go ham on her. In between dozens of hours of subsequent surgery, the mummified contestants would be kept in complete isolation, locked away in rooms with no TV, phone, or mirrors. Now, there was a rehabilitation psychologist who was hired for the program, but it was later revealed that they had no licensing, and they actually received their certification from an online university. Which, okay, I respect the online universities. I want to make it very clear. Back in 2004, it was not the same as what it is now.
Rachel's home life comes up session after session. My job is to make sure that her emotional transformation is as profound as her physical one.
I'm just trying to keep my family together. Me, and nothing I do is good enough either. There's been times where I don't trust him. I feel, resentful to the person who's not putting in as much effort as I am.
If you let yourself acknowledge it, you have a chance to start working through it.
This issue's not going to be something that's just going to be resolved. It's something I'm going to have to work at.
Despite this being such a weird show, people ate it up. I mean, back in the early 2000s, it was unhinged. They had an entire show competition of these women going up in bikinis, very just classic pageant style. And it's surprising, but not really surprising, that they were picked up for a second season. So we have a lot of contestants. I want to go through some of their really sad stories and what went wrong. Heartbreaking clips of each woman were shown on the show, which is, somewhat embarrassing, humiliating, where they discuss their lack of self-worth and self-esteem, with season 2 contestant Marsha saying, "I feel completely unbearably disgusted with myself. My biggest fear is being alone. I'd give anything to not want to be invisible."
I think Marsha felt invisible because you really couldn't get a good feel for her features. So the idea was to make her more distinctive.
I don't want people to notice me. I don't want people to see me. I've got hair. I feel completely unbearably disgusted with myself.
The hair must be a hormone thing, right? Like plastic surgery, can they fix it? I guess they would do laser, right?
It makes me feel really unfeminine to have to shave my face every single day.
My biggest fear is probably being alone, not having any friends. I'd give anything to not want to be invisible.
Wow. I mean, let's take a look. Okay. I wonder how old she is, because she looks very mature, but great. I mean, as long as she feels good.
Marsha, I am in shock. You look out of this world.
I don't know who the old Marsha is anymore. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It has to be easier for Marsha to come out on the other side, and when you're now considered hot and like beautiful, you're in the cool kids club, so you can kind of like laugh off that old self, but that's still Marsha within her. Winner of the show, Rachel Love Frazier, cried as she said, "When you're a person who doesn't have a great deal of self-esteem, sometimes you feel like, why do I bother?" Terry Dubrow said in response to Rachel's transformation, "I think she's a difficult physical transformation. What do you want to do with that nose?" Dr. Lanny pledged to delve into the insecurity transferred to her by her husband and father, with Rachel's husband Mike saying in a video, "She's a little average, but when she's happy, she's a very beautiful person," which is pretty sweet to hear. But also, like, don't call me average. Writer for the show, Rebecca Hertz, told Entertainment Weekly that they set up Mike to say this about his wife. And he never even really said this. They actually edited it so he sounded like an asshole. She said he was furious when he saw the show. Rachel and Mike ended up divorcing. Here's a clip of Rachel's story.
Congratulations, you've been selected as one of the Swans.
Oh my God.
I have a horrible profile. I would like my nose to be fixed, and I want to take care of all my chunks. I believe that has had an impact on my relationship with my husband.
She's a little average, but when she's happy, she's a very beautiful person.
We have to do quite a bit of a body change on her. She does have quite a bit of liposuction to do.
I feel gorgeous. I feel beautiful.
What do you think you look like right now?
If it's anything the way I feel, I think I look beautiful.
Author Jennifer Posner writes in her book Reality Bites Back, The Swan is the most sadistic reality series of the decade. The show gained reassurance of hatred and international attention in 2009 and 2010, when it aired for the first time on Channel 4. Many contestants on the show have spoken out against it, most notably Season 1 contestant Lori Ayres, who was 34 when she went on the series and was given a tummy tuck, butt lift, inner thigh lift, dual facelift, upper lip lift, upper and lower eye lift, brow lift, rhinoplasty, breast augmentation lift. The most procedures of any swan ever.
I have always had very low self-esteem. The highest weight I ever reached was 265 pounds. One day I had had enough, so I just lowered the fat and worked out. I didn't realize that there would be so much hanging skin, but then everything went bad. My husband died. He is my soulmate. I want to have high
Oh my gosh, stop. I want to cry. Lori.
self-esteem, finally. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay, first reaction, gorgeous. I mean, I don't think she was that bad to begin with. It looks like they definitely made her look more, they made her look tighter. But one thing I'll say about plastic surgery is that sometimes it makes you just look more mature. Like she looks not 34. She looks like a really hot 44. You know, I mean that in the nicest way. I mean, she looks beautiful. I mean, look at her. Stunning. Great work. But, you know, let's talk about the aftermath. In 2010, Lori, who lost 150 pounds herself in 1995, said she regained the weight back. She said she was depressed, bipolar, and suffering from body dysmorphic disorder. She claims there was no aftercare from the show. I had the most surgeries of any swan in the history of the show, and it has all gone to absolute crap. I am a 300-pound mess of a person who is afraid to go outside. Lori claims that she's agoraphobic, which essentially means that she's scared of going into large crowded places. People who have this typically just stay at home. Here's a more recent, again, not recent, but a more recent interview of Lori talking about her experience.
Are you happy with your results from your cosmetic surgery?
I'm happy-ish with it because I've had some complications, and mentally it's done a number on me. Because I see everything now. I see things in other people now. So it's I don't know, it's just a little mentally challenging.
Okay. You still have a lot of scarring.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially on the back.
Yeah.
And on my left hip.
And don't you have some problems there right now with your back and hips and things?
Yes, my left hip, the skin has grown so thin that if it continues to ulcerate, because it does from time to time.
Oh my God, guys, because imagine this. So she was bigger, she lost all the weight, and they like removed, oh my gosh, I'm feeling like a blackout. I literally feeling like a blackout. So then she lost all the weight, they cut off the skin. So now she's gaining the weight back, so her skin is so thin, it's just stretching thin. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
It's almost against the bone, and it can just rip open.
Oh my God. Makes me literally gag. Oh my God, I'm spinning. I'm like literally, okay, hold on. Okay, let's move on. I'm literally spinning. That is really unfortunate, and I really hope that she's okay. I'm like, actually, I feel like I'm spinning. It's really hard for me to talk about medical things. I have like medical anxiety, which I'm like, okay, everyone has anxiety, but I actually truly have that specifically where I faint when I think about things in our body. Like if you were to start talking to me about like a tumor right now, I will start spinning, black out, and faint, and then I'll come right back. It's part of my issues.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.